Welcome, everyone, to our prayer journey with Mike Toth. If you are a new believer, a new Christian, or an older Christian who desires to improve their walk with God, I have good news for you. I have a simple pamphlet I'm going to go over from the first century church fathers. I'm not a big church father theology person, but this book is extremely important because it goes back to the basics. Jesus often called the little children to him, and I've been wondering why all my life, other than that they have more faith. But it is more than more faith that they have. It is more obedience. You see, a statement like this from the Didache, where it opens, love God who made you, love your neighbor as yourself, do not do anything to another person that you do not want done to you, is just taken as a phrase that means very little. But it is more than very little. Because a young child will try to follow that the best they can. The problem is a young child looks at an adult and sees what they're reading here or being taught in this simple book. And they're saying, well, you don't love your neighbor as yourself, so I shouldn't follow that. You see, children will obey and will follow the example of the people before them. Do you love God who made you above all things? Yes, I hope you do. Do you love your neighbor as yourself? I know I struggle with this. It is difficult to love my neighbor as myself. I do love my neighbor. I got to admit that I've gotten rid of all of my enemies in my heart, and I love all people, but I don't like some people, and I struggle. But what is the goal set before me? Do I take this statement and just cast it to the side and go on with Christianity? Or do I take this statement and begin to walk with God the way he says? Love God who made you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't do anything to offend them. I'm going to give you one before I end this short video and before we begin the next chapter in the Didache. But there's a verse that they quote in the Bible, which is a paraphrase of a Bible verse in the Didache. And it basically says this: love God who made you, love your neighbor, and love your enemy as yourself. But it follows with this profound statement: pray for your enemies, because if you do and you forgive them, you will have no enemies. You see how that works? Christians will fight over when you should forgive somebody, when you should not forgive somebody. But that is the simplest fact of all things. If you have an enemy, pray for them, ask God for the strength to forgive them, and you have no enemies. You see how basic this is? How profound it is? I hope to see you in future videos. May God bless.